Okay, it says we're live. Please, if you're out there, I know a bunch of you folks, Georgia has been blowing up my phone. I got a couple from Ohio and East Tennessee. Make sure you can send me a text. Make sure that you're seeing me and hearing me. If not, then we're going to have to take another 2-minute break or 5-minute break, and let me resend out this link for you guys. So let me know if you're on quickly.
Okay, we have a lot of newbies in the room, so we're waiting on that. How about everybody introduce themselves? And because Christy's not a newbie, I'm going to make Christy start.
I'm Christy.
Explain.
Hi, Christy.
Explain, like, maybe how you know us and how long you've been at AdvoCare.
Okay. I have been with AdvoCare for almost 4 years now. That's like high school. Like I was like a senior
Or college.
Yeah. And then I was in middle school. I'm like a funky 8th grader. Right now. And I know Casey and TJ. We used to go to church together when I lived in Murfreesboro. And I knew TJ from church camps, and then I met Casey at a fun family gathering with our friend Jason and Kelly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I was like psycho helicopter mom then, because I only had one kid.
I was like, what is up with this woman? Why is she so
Concerned
concerned
that I
about
would jump on the trampoline.
Yeah.
Awesome. We just got on. So hey, folks out there, I just got a text. If you are online, Ian out there down in Georgia, send me a text. Make sure that you see. Terry just said that she's on, and I know Brian's on. So sweet, we are ready to go. Sorry for the delay. They have changed the app up a little, or the Google Hangout a little bit. I forgot to turn on the Webinar Jam button, so that was my fault. All right, so we're gonna get started, guys, and because I want to leave some time, maybe towards the end, for questions. Obviously, questions are welcome as we go throughout the training. But we're here because you're here because you're interested in growing an AdvoCare business, a thriving AdvoCare business. I would even add to that. And so one of the things that we have really been charged with and focusing towards is let's get back to the basics of making sure that everybody knows what the simple things are. I mean, because building an AdvoCare business is not incredibly difficult. I mean, it's not hard. It's really simple, but there is a few little things that you need to do, and you need to do them right. And they're not hard, but you need to do them the right way. So what we want to do is just launch into some basic training for you guys this morning. So anything you want to share? No? Okay.
It's only hard if you make it hard.
Yep.
Just remember that.
They're not complicated. I think it's not complicated.
If you try to reinvent the wheel, that's when it gets hard.
Yep.
Just lock it in the pocket.
Ooh.
That's another training for another day.
Start dancing. All right, so really what I want to do is I want to start out by asking you the question, why? Why are you doing AdvoCare? It is very important that you know why you're doing AdvoCare. Are you doing AdvoCare so that you can just lose weight and make some money? If that's the case, you can build an AdvoCare business, but I can tell you right now, it won't be your passion, okay? Your why has to go deeper than that. It needs to go, I'm building AdvoCare so Casey and I can continue to be stay-at-home parents, pouring into a team and being the mom and dad to our 4 kiddos that we want to be. That's why we do AdvoCare. That's so much bigger than just income or weight loss or energy. Now, those are great things inherently in themselves, but they're not driving forces. You know, so if you want to build an AdvoCare business to a sustainable level, like what we've seen, you've got to have a deep down desire and a reason why. A lot of you guys know our story and why we got started with AdvoCare. You know, AdvoCare found us even though we didn't know we needed AdvoCare. All right. Casey knew that there was something more that needed to happen. We were spinning our wheels. Right. But AdvoCare found us when I was at my heaviest. So obviously I needed some help from a health standpoint. I needed something. I needed more. But from a financial standpoint, we had been talking back and forth about adoption. And we were trying to figure out how we're going to fund an international adoption. If you guys don't know, they're not cheap. And, you know, there was always more month at the end of the money, even though I was working my tail off 50, 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. We owned a small business. It just always, it was just that continual, it's like we were a hamster in a wheel. And so we knew though, that if we could build an AdvoCare business, because we had seen in very early on in our first month, making an extra $1,000, that this was going to be a way that we could bring our son home from the Ukraine. This was going to be the way that we could make some income to get him home sooner. Because the only thing stopping us from getting Ollie home was paying his ransom. Because really that's what it was a ransom to get him home. And so we were diligent. We were passionate. That's why we built an AdvoCare business. Wow.
Know your why.
Know your why. So here's some of the things that in establishing your why that you might want to look at. These are some very simple things to establish, but number one, find out your purpose. That's your why or your reason, and dig deep. We like to ask that question, why till you cry. I'll be honest, it's okay to cry. All right, I'm 6'4", 255, and when I think about my purpose and my reason of why I'm building an AdvoCare business, it's emotional, and that's what should, you know, trigger you to push forward, to be more than what you are today. The next thing, fill out a goal sheet. Where would you like to be in 6 weeks from now, in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? Where would you like to be? Because if you don't write that down, and if you can't see it, if it's not in front of you, you really don't know where you're going. If you don't have that GPS on your phone or a map in front of your face, and you leave Smyrna or Murfreesboro and you haven't been to Cookeville before, you might not know how to get here. Even if you've come from Crossville, you know, you can jump on the interstate and you can get one place to the other in 25 minutes. But once you get off the interstate, you may not know where you're going. Same thing with goals. You may know the direction that you're heading, but you don't know the fine tunes. You don't know the lefts and the right turns and where to go. So it's very important that you write those down. The last part of that, put a deadline on those goals. Put a date to them. Assign a date. It's not that you are making yourself finish by a certain time, but there's something psychological in our heads that if we know that we've got a timeline and a time frame, we're going to be continually working towards that a little bit. We won't, at least most of us. I was a procrastinator in high school and college. That's why it took me so long to get out of college. But I got it done. And I was always typically doing a little something along the way, even though I had a deadline. But those deadlines made me stop and focus and get the project completed. Now on in my corporate career, things changed. You know, I worked on things because I didn't want things to kind of sneak up on me. But there was always deadlines. We always have deadlines, right? We always have goals that we're working towards. So make sure you put a time frame on those, because if it's open-ended, it's open-ended, right? You say out there, man, I want to have a lake house one day. One day is a long time away. When is one day? I don't know. Man, I want my kids to go to private school one day. When is one day? You know? So put a goal, put those goals together, but put deadlines on those.
Let me add to that just a little bit. This is something that we were challenged by a year ago when we were on an incentive trip. We had a goal, or maybe even a dream, of TJ to come home. And I think that's great. I think you need a big dream that you want to accomplish in AdvoCare, but it's really important that you break it down into steps. And so we had this dream that we wanted TJ to come home from his job, and Crystal Thurber, who is one of our leaders, she's a platinum in AdvoCare, said, okay, well, that's good, but break it down. What do you have to do to get there? And so what we knew is that we had to pay off debt. We had a lot of debts that we had to pay off to get there. And so it's great to have a big dream, but you guys need to break it down into simple goals, because the dream seems out there and unattainable. But if you have an action step that you have to check off to get there, then you're more likely to make progression in your business. So we knew, okay, the first thing that we had to pay off was this. Laser focus, we're paying this off. And then we mark that off. And what that also does is that gives you a little boost of motivation and makes you believe even more that that big why, that dream is gonna become possible. So have your why, but break it down into simple steps that you can check off, and that's gonna keep you from getting overwhelmed and giving up.
And folks that have been, last thing I want to add on to that, folks that have been with AdvoCare for a little while, maybe you've been with AdvoCare, with us since we started 4 years ago. Your goal and your purpose very well could have changed. And even when so, you got to redefine. You got to come back to the table and redefine those reasons and purpose. So I'm going to challenge everybody. This is going to be my first homework assignment for you all, and it's completely in your court. It's not like I'm going to send you out a grade or you're going to lose your AdvoCare business if you don't do this. But I'm going to challenge you to send Casey and I your first goal. I just want your first goal, your closest, most attainable, what you would love to see. I'm going to say within the next 4 to 6 weeks happen with AdvoCare. No more than 2 months out. Okay, 2 months out put us into the first of the year, right? So we want to see that. Just email that to us. It just takes a spark@gmail.com. Just send that. All the title needs to say is my goal. All right. That's all I want you to say. I want you to do. All right. Just put that out there. But remember, in doing that goal, we want the goal and your deadline when you want to have it accomplished. All right. Even though I said 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I want you to tell me when, because we want to help you attain those goals. That's what we do in AdvoCare. That's our jobs. Okay. That's part of who we are as the leadership team with AdvoCare. So now we're going to jump into, we've thought about and we've talked about why. We've nailed that down. We know our purpose. We know our reason. And now we say, okay, how do we do that? How are we going to accomplish that? And there's 3 sets of fundamentals that Charlie Ragus put into place 22 years ago, almost 22 years ago, that these are the things that you need to do fundamentally to grow an AdvoCare business. Now, each one of these you can dig into layer by layer, and we'll talk about those a little bit as the morning goes on. But I think it's very, very important that you understand these, okay? The first set of fundamentals is use the products, talk to people, and wear your colors. You can be just fired up, gung-ho, all blazing forward with AdvoCare, but if you're not using the products, you really don't have anything to share, okay? Because people come, this is a relationship business. AdvoCare is a relationship business, and people want to know what you're doing. They trust you, but they want to know, all right, what are you doing? What products are you using? Because AdvoCare, what are we? We're a world-class nutrition company. Pure and simple. That's what we do. We offer nutritional supplementation from the inside of the body and the outside of the body. We nourish the body. And so where products go, business flow. You'll hear that later on. Where products go, business flow. So when products are going into your body, business is going to kind of help flow out of that. So use products, and we'll talk about this later. I'm not saying use all 75 products that AdvoCare has to offer. I'm not saying that at all. But you need to get products into your body that you can afford, that are helping you reach the goals that you want to physically, okay, or from your health standpoint.
I think that's key. You need to be on products that are going to further your product story. It needs to be products that you can afford. The 2 key products that every distributor needs to be on, unless you have a medical reason why we need to switch you to a different product, well, M&S and Spark. Everybody needs to be on M&S and Spark, because those are developing your story. Those are getting you results. And those are our 2 top products in the company. So why wouldn't you take our 2 top products? Those
2 top products are so top that they make up 60% of the sales volume that AdvoCare generates. And we're very close to $1 billion company. Nearly $600 million of the revenue that AdvoCare generates comes through those 2 products. So obviously they work, right? I mean, everybody in here's had Spark. So you're like, yeah, I can understand that. But if you haven't been on the metabolic nutrition system, the M&S system, you need to get on it, and you'll know why. I won't have to sell it anymore. It is what it is. So that's the first part. Use the products. Talk to people. This is a business. You don't have a boss. You're an independent distributor. You are your own boss. You're your own CEO. You're your own president. You're your own marketing. Well, not only we have a marketing department that'll help us, but you're your own boss and you're your own employee. You get out and you do. And how do you share with people about AdvoCare? You talk to them. Okay. We can get into this deeper later on, but it says talk to people for a reason. It doesn't say text message people. It doesn't say email people. It doesn't say hammer people on social media with AdvoCare. It says talk to people. Because again, we want to be able to look people eyeball to eyeball and say, this is what I see. How do you see this helping you? So talk to people, share products with people. But in talking to people, don't go AdvoCare crazy. That's not what that means either. Okay. I use the word maybe a little advo vomit. Don't advo vomit on people. Don't just go, Spark, M&S, Drew Brees, rookie bonus. Don't just, people don't understand that. When it says talk to people, build the relationship. We've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Let's use them proportionately when we're talking to people, okay? Ask questions. There's an acronym we'll talk about later that a friend of mine, actually Trevor's on here, it's the SALT, an acronym, but we'll talk about it in a little bit. And just start a conversation. Ask questions. Listen. And then tell people what you're doing, okay? SALT, but we can dig into that a little bit later. And the third one's wear your colors. What does it mean to wear your colors? Anybody know? In the room? We got some new folks in the room.
Wear your shirt.
Wear the logo.
Wear a hat.
Right there.
Ring bracelet.
Yeah.
Anywhere I go, I try to have an AdvoCare logo on. And we've been in the business for 4 years, and we've got a lot of logoed gear, which is cool. We love having it. We've got bracelets. I'm not saying that you have to do that, but I would work towards that. You can get shirts very cost effective through AdvoCare Apparel. There's always some great places to find those things. But it's very important to wear your colors. Do you know why it's important to wear your colors?
Conversation starter.
It sparks conversation. Let me give you an example. Casey and I decided on the way home last night from getting some things from her mom's house that we wanted to we're going to go by Blue Coast Burrito and grab some dinner. We love Blue Coast. So we called in an order on the way because the kiddos were in the vehicle. I stopped, walked in. I had a fleece on, AdvoCare fleece, and I walked in, I paid, and the guy said, "Oh, so you use AdvoCare?" And I said, "Well, I am AdvoCare. I'm kind of very straightforward about that. I do AdvoCare." And I said, "Are you familiar?" He said, "Well, my sister." He said, "Wait, you do AdvoCare?" I said, "Yeah, this is what I do. This is what my wife and I do." He said, "Full time?" I said, "Yeah, full time. This is what we do." So I shared my 30-second story with him, and we'll kind of get into that. And he said, "You make how much?" I said, "Yeah, this is what we do." And so I said, "Is that something that interests you?" And he's like, "Yeah." So what did I do? I got Matthew's number, the cashier's number. And I said, "Hey, would it be okay if I follow up with you the first of the week?" I said, "I know you're going to be busy over the weekend, working. Does that be okay?" "Yeah, let's talk." Wear your colors. It started the conversation for me. I didn't have to do anything else. Okay. So it's important that you do that.
And it wasn't about the fact that we do this full time, and it wasn't about the fact that, we earn income, a sizable income with AdvoCare. You could have done the exact same thing just starting out. Not even earning a penny. You could have still started that conversation with him by wearing your AdvoCare shirt and saying, "I love the products and I'm on track too," which relates back to that goal. That would have gotten his attention just as much. So don't discount what your story is in those situations.
And we'll talk about your 2-minute and your 30-second story because those are important. And again, it's like Casey said, it's not about where we are today. It was as much about me casting the vision of where we're going. Because I shared that with him, that we're on track to double this income in the next three to 4 months. That's where we're going. And so, people want to know that you're going somewhere. They don't want to know that you're just, they like the aspect of maybe that you've lost some weight and that's what they want to do, or maybe you've gained energy, or maybe you've leaned out even more than you had. You've developed, your muscular development has been more than what all of those things are huge value adds that are points, but they want to know you're going somewhere. You want to tag along, not tag along, but you want to go along with folks that are moving in the same direction and in a forward facing direction. So number one fundamental, set of fundamentals, use the products, talk to people, wear your colors. If you do nothing else, if you just did those 3 things and you did it very well and very effectively, you're going to grow an AdvoCare business. I promise you. The next set of fundamentals is once you have done that, once you're using the products, you're talking to people and you're wearing your colors, you've talked to those people and they want to hear more. Just like Matthew, that I talked to last night. He's interested in hearing more. So what's the next set that I need to have mastered? What do I need to know? I don't have to have it mastered. I just need to fundamentally know what they are. Show the DVD, show the plan, paint the dream or paint the vision. And basically he put that together, and you can trade DVD with Impact Magazine. Okay, man, this is a walking business card for you. Side note, anytime that you give somebody a DVD or an Impact Magazine, make sure your name and number's on the back. Okay, make sure that your contact info is along with that, so that maybe it's somebody's first exposure and they want to be able to get back in touch with you. They need to have somewhere to go, because if not, they just decide to go online and just Google AdvoCare and type in their zip code to find a distributor. We're going to love you, because right now, if you type in an area zip code, we're going to pop up at the top of the list. And
well, we're going to send you back.
We are.
But if you do that,
right,
send them back. But if you do it in another area, another distributor may not.
You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
If somebody just decides to come and maybe they just want to try AdvoCare, maybe somebody just in the comfort of their home said, I'm just going to order me a canister of that Spark. We always try to follow up with those folks and find out how they heard of AdvoCare, and then we're going to push them back to the right direction, because that's what we do in AdvoCare. All right, wherever you heard of AdvoCare, hey, let's make sure that you're in the right spot with the right people that are going to help you move forward in this business. And we're here to help you as well. But if you just leave it open-ended for somebody, they're not going to know where to go. But in doing that also, you give them your contact info. But what was something that I asked Matthew for at Blue Coast? Time, number one. Another time, I made an appointment. But his phone number, his contact info. I got to be able to know how to get back in touch with him too, right? Because a lot of people say, yeah, that interests me. Well, great. So am I going to just happen chance see you back here at Blue Coast? He works there, so maybe, yeah. But you want to be able to get back in touch with that person.
And you don't want to be a weird stalker guy that goes to Blue Coast every day hoping that you catch him on the shift.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird. Yeah. Show the plan, and in showing the plan, that means, and we'll dig into that. You need to know how AdvoCare works, okay? And if you're new, you don't have to know that just yet, because that's where you employ us. That's where you lean on us. That's where we are going to help mentor. We want you to learn this business. We want you to earn some income as you learn. Okay, so that's why we say put us to work. Let us show you what has been successful for us and what's been a proven system, for 22 years to push this company where it is. So help us by putting us in front of people. All right, introduce us to folks. Be very honest with people and say, I don't know a lot about that right now, but my friend TJ is helping me, and I know he'll help you. My friend Casey is helping me. I know she'll help you. And it's easy to say that. I mean, it doesn't take any credibility off of you from what you know about the products or about the business. It just tells people that you're honest and that you're excited about moving the right way and you're willing to ask for help. That's okay. That's good. I mean, that's what we had to do. Early on, we didn't want to ask for help. Or I didn't. I figured we got this. I'd done corporate sales, and I could move this stuff. I was going to be a millionaire really fast. Our first little bit in the business, even though we had done some decent things, it kind of hit a little bit of a wall because I was trying to do it on my own. It wasn't until we poured into the success system and letting somebody else show the plan, because they knew it better than we did until we learned it, that we didn't take off and start moving in the right direction. So show the Impact Magazine, get the DVD in people's hands. It's the same thing as a mixer. Okay, a 1-to-1 meeting, 2-to-1 meeting, all of those things, that's part of the fundamentals. And paint the dream, or paint the vision. And the vision is, where are you going? Where are you going with AdvoCare? It's not, in this point, it's not just about the corporate side of things. It's about your dream. Where do you see AdvoCare taking you? Because remember, people are buying you, right? The relationships are trusting you. They want to know you're going somewhere. You think?
Well, that's where the three-way call, the 2-on-1 meeting, because we can ask those questions that you would probably not ask your friend. Asking those questions such as, what do you and your family want to accomplish? What's something that would help you guys out right now? Let's use not uncomfortable questions at all. It's not about putting that person on the spot. It's about trying to figure out how we can best help them. I mean, Spark was an okay help for us. It was great. We loved Spark when we first got started, but it was because we had a deeper need and a deeper desire that I wouldn't have just revealed to Angela right off the bat. I just would have bought the products and that would have been it. So that's where a three-way call is going to help us to find out how we can truly, underlying help that person and paint the dream for them. What would $500 do for your family? What kind of stress would that alleviate? How many arguments would that stop between you and your husband? And that's the key piece, is that connection.
Yeah, and that's kind of flows right into the last fundamentals. Know your vision. Paint the dream. Know your vision, where you're going. Know the team's vision of where we're going, okay? Because this is a team concept. It's about where you're going and the people that are coming along with you, where you're going to take them. But you need to know the corporate vision too. Basically, from that standpoint, you just need to know who Charlie was, what his plan was, where he took this company, where he envisioned this company to be. And we're on the cusp of reaching one of his dreams, and that's being $1 billion company. That's huge, guys. I don't know if you realize how big it is. You hear the word millions and billions, tossed around, pretty flippantly. But being $1 billion revenue generating company is extremely, extremely rare.
Especially when we only distribute in the U.S.
Yeah, we're only in the United States. So that's pretty phenomenal. And as
Can you just say one more too?
I was going to say, Angela was sharing with us this week that we're the second largest direct sales company in the world, but we only distribute in the U.S.
Is that not crazy?
How strong of a company that you're
We're
partnered
in the
with.
top 5 in growth, but the other ones distribute
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. I mean, we've got our hands on something pretty phenomenal here. I mean, you've all seen what AdvoCare is, and you've felt the products probably, So and that's part of the corporate vision. We want to be a household name. We want people to think of AdvoCare and think of health. We want to help people. We want to change people's lives. We want to take people from ordinary to extraordinary. We want people to think outside the box. We want to make sure people know that there's something more, because that's what AdvoCare can be. It's something more. We're living a little bit opposite of what the world tells us to do, how to do things, but you can be successful there too, right? So those are 3 sets of fundamentals that you need to know, and we will touch on some more of these as we're going through this. So what do I do next? Where do I start? We can talk about the fundamentals, but let's kind of break those things down a little bit. What do I do next? Get on product. Okay. The thing that I really kind of wish that this bullet point was at the very, very top. Okay. Use what you can afford. Now, even though I like that the 24-day challenge is at the top, because a large majority of folks, what do you think, in the 90+ percentile, 80+ percentile start on the 24-day challenge?
Yes.
Easily, because it's a great start. Whether people are looking to get a kickstart, whether they are looking to break a plateau, maybe they're just trying to reset, maybe they're trying to break the habit of, binge crash dieting that they've been on, whatever, the 24-day challenge is an awesome place to start, because what we're doing in that 24-day challenge is setting the groundwork. If you're building a house, you clear the ground and you dig your footers for your foundation. You pour that concrete. That's what we're doing. We're setting the footer. We're getting that foundation good and strong, and we're starting to come up nutritionally with the vitamins, okay? And then after the 24-day challenge, we continue to build that house. We continue to build what they're looking for, with Advocare. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's a great place to start with the 24-day challenge. At a minimum, if you're growing if you have plans to grow an Advocare business and to move forward, you need to be on M&S and Spark at a minimum. Okay, M&S and Spark at a minimum. Again, they're the two best sellers for a reason, and we can talk about the numbers later on. But even if somebody just came to the table and decided that they wanted to just use M&S and Spark, make you an extra $75 a month, just for somebody, one person deciding that they wanted to do M&S and Spark. So you can see how that could compound relatively quickly. 2 people, $150. 4 people, $300, and that's just on the retail side of things. Okay, that's not the other commissions and things that you could potentially earn. So, M&S and Spark, get on the products. Again, I'm always a huge proponent of use what you can afford. I don't expect anybody to go out and use 30+ products like we do. Maybe even more than that. Especially
We all didn't start off using.
No, we didn't start that way though. That's the thing. But as you grow your Advocare business, and you make some discretionary income, add some things on. Absolutely. Or if there's things that you're spending money on now, exchange. It's an exchange system. Maybe for the ladies and the guys, you are spending money on skincare that is maybe not making you as happy as you want it to be. Advocare has a phenomenal skincare line that nourishes your body from the outside in, okay? And so maybe that's an exchange rate. Maybe that's a place that you're exchanging. Maybe you are, maybe you work out a lot. Maybe you're a workout freak. Like not like I was, like still, anyways. Maybe, people always talk about protein, getting their proteins. They're spending money on proteins that probably aren't doing what they're supposed to do. I would say are not doing what they're supposed to do. Exchange system. Same thing, we can talk about an exchange system with other areas of the 24-day challenge and things of that nature too. So
let me say this.
Yeah.
If you can go to Starbucks, you can afford M&S and Spark. If you can go to Sonic Happy Hour, you can afford M&S and Spark. If you can eat out at lunch, whether you're working or working from home, you can afford M&S and Spark. And so when we talk about use what you can afford more than you think. Angela said the other day, we always say we couldn't afford a box of Spark, but you know what? I could afford Starbucks, so I could afford a box of Spark. And it's the same way. There's extras that you can exchange.
You said the challenge was like $7 and change.
And that's retail. Yeah, $7.60 some odd cents a day.
Starbucks is $5.36. And the only reason I know that is because my body pump teacher said, I went to Starbucks and it was $5.36. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're crazy. Get some Spark in your body. Much better you can feel on
It's all
Spark.
the extra calories.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. You're not putting anything good into your body. So
We'll step off that.
we'll step
box
off. But part of getting on the products is developing a product story. Now, let me go ahead and tell you right now that developing a product story does not mean losing 65 pounds or 100 pounds or even 20 pounds. That's not a product story make, okay? It could be that your 1 rep max went up at the gym in the matter of a few weeks. It may be that you lost inches during your 24-day challenge. It could be that at the end of the day, you don't come home and lay on the couch and watch Bob the Builder with your son. You're in the floor playing with him. Those are product stories, okay? So develop those product stories. And obviously, as you use more products later on, your story will develop. Your story needs to always be developing. Your product story always needs to be developing and moving forward. If it's not, let's check things. I'm not saying stop product, but let's talk. Let's stop and take a deep breath and find out, okay, why are we not going in the right direction? What's changed since early on, or why are we not? That's part of the product, some of the voice, you'll hear that a lot. That's part of who we are as coaching, coaching folks nutritionally, making sure that they're getting their gains, where they want them. So continue to develop a story. Good with that? Okay. Stories sell, products don't. or ingredients don't. It's I like to
Facts
say
tell
I
stories.
like to say facts tell, stories tell. It's just stated another way. You can tell somebody facts all day long. You can tell people there's 21 different vitamins and minerals in Spark, and it's got less caffeine than a cup of coffee, yada yada yada. That's just telling people. All right. Spark allowed me to come home at the end of a 12 or 13-hour day and get in the floor and play with my son because I had a little extra energy. Wasn't a crazy bounce off the wall energy. It was just focused energy. That's a story. That's going to sell somebody more than, man, I drank this 8 ounces of this stuff called Spark. It's got 21 vitamins and amino acids. And it just, that people don't want to hear that. They want to know what it did for you.
Yeah. So
facts tell, stories sell.
You want to present it in a way that it adds value to them. You don't want to have to keep adding value to the product. That's what we do. A lot of times we try to justify the product, the product. Product stands on its own. Add value to what it's going to do for them, how it's going to help them. One thing, and then I have to go, unfortunately.
You got to depend on me for the rest of the day. You guys are in for.
Keep it lively for me, okay? One thing that Richard does, Richard Wright, president and CEO of the company, every time we go to Success School, we go to leadership room as part of the national leadership team. And the first thing that Richard does is he gives a State of the Union address kind of thing. And he tells us what our numbers are and, what we're doing as a company. And they're always fantastic numbers. Like we talked about being number 2, number 5, all this a few minutes ago. But the first thing that he says is, I'm going to tell you this, but there's no need in you telling anybody else. Even though they're amazing numbers and they're fantastic, he says you can write them down if you want, but don't put them on social media. Don't send them out to people because they're useless except to us who are a part of the company. And so don't go out trying to promote Advocare, how we're fastest, how we're this, how we're that. People don't care about that. People care about what it's going to do for them. People care about what's in it for them.
I think with that, like the whole idea of household name is so interesting because to us that's exciting, but to you blabbing it to everyone else, it's like either like you're just being annoying,
yes,
or once the commercial comes on TV and you're like, did you see that commercial? See, I told you household name, then it's I told you so.
Yeah.
Either one of those are attractive. Like that's something to help you know, like we are a household name. And it's just getting to be more and more. I think it's the same premise.
It is the same. And I want to tell you that if you've put that out there, that it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. We've done it, but kind of learn from what we've learned from our mistakes, basically, that we've done it too. It's okay if you've done it too. But, just that's why we have training, so we can freshen and sharpen our skills.
Yeah.
So I'll see you later.
Awesome. So that's the first thing. Get on products. All right. So what's next? We're on product. We want to build this business. We want to talk to people because that's part of it. So what are we going to do? We're going to share with people as we're talking to them a 30-second story. I mean, it needs to be quick. It needs to be concise. It doesn't need to be necessarily canned or scripted. It needs to be heartfelt. Okay. And so here's your 30-second story in a nutshell. It needs to be, man, I got on these products and now it says how much here. It says weight loss. It doesn't have to be weight loss. Again, it can be energy. With me, it was 3 days in, I felt different. I was coming home and had the energy to play with my son. I was able to give my son his dad back and spend quality time. So how much? If it's a weight loss story, great, man. I lost 12 pounds on the 24-day challenge. I lost 16 pounds on the 24-day challenge. I lost 15 inches on the 24 days. I went from an 8 to a 2 on the 24-day challenge. I mean, we've seen all those things. Maybe you went from an 8 to a 4. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know what that is for you. But how much and how fast? How quickly did it work for you? And a lot of people in their 30-second story will use the results from a 24-day challenge. I mean, the majority of folks will. I lost 16 pounds in 24 days with Advocare, and that really got me a kickstart to, my 65 plus pound, weight loss story with Advocare. So again, how quickly did you get there? Don't embellish this. All right. In your 30-second story, it needs to be honest and truthful. All right. You don't have to make something up to impress people. There are enough stories in AdvoCare, there's literally, I can put my hands on tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of stories at AdvoCare. There's enough stories out there of that are real, that people, you don't have to that you don't have to embellish your story. Okay, you don't have to embellish it. So be real, be honest, but keep it updated too. You know, as your story progresses, you know, change your 30-second story. And again, it doesn't need to be much more than 30 seconds. I mean, we do have what we call a 2-minute story, and it goes a little bit deeper, but the 30-second story is just in that passing, you know, hey, have you ever heard, you know, when you start a conversation, the SALT method, you'll hear me come back to that. You start the conversation and you just ask questions, just casual questions, not about, hey, are you wanting to lose weight? No, it's just, hey, how are you? How are the kids? How's the family? What's going on with you? And it's amazing how people just open up and say, oh, things are going okay, but I'm just so exhausted at the end of the day. Still, don't jump into that 24-day challenge. Don't jump into that. You're listening, all right? You listen, ask again. Well, tell me a little bit about that. Why are you so tired at the end of the day? Well, I get up so early in the morning. I got to get the kids out the door. I don't want to eat a good breakfast. I got to get to work, and I'm just so stressed out at work. When I go to lunch, I just binge on whatever I can in the 30-minute time limit I have. And then I go back to work, and I'm just so ineffective because I feel like junk when I get back to work. And then when I leave work, I got to go pick up the kids. And then I get the kids home. I get them their homework. And, you know, you hear the process going on right here. Man, there's a lot of little things in there that I hear. And I'd say, well, I don't know about you, but, you know, that sounds a lot like me and what was going on in my life. Here's what I did. Here's what I'm doing. Interject your 30-second story. It's really that simple. It's just in conversation. Yeah, when we first did it, the first time we do it, we're a little nervous. We're a little excited. Even today, when I share my story sometimes with somebody I've not shared it with before, it makes me a little nervous, you know, even though I've shared it with a lot of people. But that's the kind of the fire in the belly too, because I want to make sure that I'm communicating the right way. But try not to be. Just take a deep breath. You're just having a conversation with somebody, because if they say yes to AdvoCare, great. If they say no to AdvoCare, I want to encourage you that no means not right now. All right, I'm gonna wait, just see maybe how you do with this thing, or you know, they're processing it. So don't take no's personally. They're not telling you no. They're just telling, you know, this opportunity. Let me check that out. I don't want to dive into anything. And then added benefits as part of your story: dress sizes, pant size, craving, appetite went away, energy level changes. All of those things are part of your story. Now, when you shared your story, you're going to get automatically, when you share something with somebody that they may have never heard of before, what do you think the typical response is?
What are you selling?
Yeah, or what else? I mean, that's a great one. That's a good one. So what are you selling? Maybe you've already told them, hey, I'm using AdvoCare.
How much is it is the first.
How much is it?
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. What else? What else do you hear? There's always some kind of
Skepticism.
Is this a pyramid scheme? Is there's something skeptical? Well, how does this compare to that? You hear those a lot. So here's what I want to train you on really, really quickly.
Or my protein bar has 4 grams more.
Absolutely.
They start the ingredient game.
Yeah, they start the game. Yeah, you're right. And so,
that yesterday.
yeah, here's where you go. It's called the bulletproof shield. Here's how you handle that objection. Before we get there, in an argument, who wins? Typically, the person that started it wins because they're wanting an argument, right? So don't get into an argument. We don't have to get into an argument about AdvoCare, because 2 reasons. Number one, nobody, and I mean nobody, can refute what AdvoCare and AdvoCare products have done for you. Nobody, because you know. Nobody can refute that. And number 2, we have the bulletproof seal. All right. And so I want to go through this because it's very important that you have these with you at all times so that you can displace all of that objection so that you can set it to the side and show people that you're not going to get into an argument, but this is what you know and this is what you saw. And there's 4 parts to the Bulletproof Shield. Number 1 is our Scientific and Medical Advisory Board. Guys, these are second to none professionals. Physicians, surgeons, pharmacists, nutritionalists. I mean, the list goes on and on, the credentials that these folks have. Over 250 years of medical and scientific knowledge go into our products. These are not just figureheads that sit on a board and say that they're part of Advocare so that they can give them this big fat, check. These folks are actively, daily ingrained in Advocare, okay, and a part of formulating our products. Nobody else has that. Nobody else has that. And I'll even say, as part of the SciMed board is Informed Choice. Informed Choice is an independent testing lab that we voluntarily are a part of. There is nothing anywhere that says that we have to test our products for anything, but we do, so that we can know that they're the best of the best, that we don't have to worry about getting into arguments with people about how much protein or what kind of protein is in this product. I trust these doctors. They've been with Advocare for a long time, and they wear these nice, white, clean lab coats. A doctor walks into the doctor's office with his white lab coat, and Advocare has promised that they are never going to do anything to tarnish that white lab coat that a doctor has on. And so for 22 years, we haven't, and we're never going to sacrifice that. Okay, so that's one part. So now, do you have to dive into that and just shove it down? No, but you need to have it in the back of your mind, and you need to know it confidently that these products are second to none. I promise you that's second to none. The second piece is our endorsers. Somebody may say, well, how is this different from XYZ? I don't know about that, but what I do know is Drew Brees, quarterback from New Orleans Saints, has been using these products since 2002, and he absolutely loves these products. He trusts his body to Advocare. I don't know a lot about that, but Rich Froning, 4-time world's fittest man, CrossFit champion, has been using these products. And I know that these guys have been using these products for multiple years. I don't know about that, but Jason Witten uses these products. I don't know about that, but Trevor Brain uses these products. You see where I'm getting? Endorsers. And let me give you this isn't something that you have to share with everybody, but you need to know this. Our endorsers are not monetarily cash compensated for their endorsement in exchange for their endorsement. That's huge. That is really, really big. Now, we do, if we have those folks show up at an event, we pay for travel and compensate them for those kinds of things. But in exchange for their endorsement, they get an allotment of product. They can get basically all the product they want, really.
They have to use it.
And they have to use it. It's not like they just get it and sit it. Whatever they want, they get and they use. And I can tell you, that's why we're in all 32 FL locker rooms, because these folks want to use our products, and we're not having to pay out these nice big fat salaries to folks because we're running their commercial or using their face. That's huge, because here's another piece of that. All of our endorsers forego endorsing any other type of nutritional supplement when they come on board with Advocare. They pass up a huge payday, some of these folks, but they want to because they want to put the best of the best into their bodies. That should mean a lot to you. It meant a lot to me when I saw that. So our endorsers, that's the second piece. The third piece of the Bulletproof Shield is your story plus 2 others. Well, you get the objection of any objection. It doesn't matter. I've tried those things before and it just hadn't worked for me. Well, here's what happened with me. I got on a 24-day challenge. You share your results. Or, well, that was you. No 2 other stories. And where can you get 2 other stories? There's tons of them in Impact Magazine. So I encourage you, everybody here should have an impact. If you don't, I can get you one. I'll give you one. Learn these stories. Learn the stories of Tamara and Kevin, all right, they've been the Stropes. They've been involved with AdvoCare for a while. He's an electrical lineman and a piano teacher. Know their story, all right? Because who do you know? You may walk into somebody, talk to somebody that's an electrician. They basically came to AdvoCare from a weight loss standpoint, and it's done great things, but it's turned into a business. Okay, maybe you need to know Brandon and Kathy's story. Have these in your back pocket. Stories sell, facts tell. Stories. Know the stories. You want another place for stories? Right here, there's some great ones. I love these because I know a lot of these folks. I mean, there's some people in here that I don't necessarily know, that's cool too. That just furthers the credibility of how good the products are, that they work for everybody. But man, there's great success stories here as well. And when you know your story, it's not just your product story, okay? It can be your income story as well. Because, you know, when you're sharing AdvoCare, you're potentially sharing an opportunity with somebody else. Somebody else might be wanting to make a few $100 extra a month, or maybe they need to make several $1,000s a month. Maybe they need to bring a little Down syndrome boy home from the Ukraine. Maybe they need to come up with about $25,000 for an adoption. We don't know. We don't know what. Huh? Hypothetically, that could happen. It's not. It has before. I mean, history does tend to repeat itself. But no stories. Those can arm you very well. And then the fourth part of the Bulletproof Shield is the satisfaction guarantee. AdvoCare stands behind its products 100%. It's just like Advisor. AdvoCare stands behind those products. It gives you 1 full year, right, at the advisor level to, you know, determine if AdvoCare is right for you. But the products are satisfaction guaranteed. Now, I'll be honest, don't go out and throw the satisfaction guarantee right on the top of things. Because here's why. You've automatically given somebody a way out, if you will. They're going to look for that. Use it. If somebody's gotten started on a product and they're having some issues, we want to talk through those. But I'm going to assure people, hey, we're going to do the right thing for you. These products aren't guaranteed, and they're satisfaction guaranteed. Go ahead, Christy.
I want to say with that, you said earlier, like when Chris asked you, you know, AdvoCare, I am AdvoCare. We are part of that satisfaction guarantee. So when I have someone that I'm at the advisor level, you know, I'm doing this, when I have someone that's like, I don't like the flavor of the chocolate mocha shake, say, great, what flavor do you want? And I trade them out. I take care of that.
Yep.
And so just know that when you, and that might not go for everyone, but I know y'all do the same thing. You are an extension of that satisfaction guarantee. Satisfaction guarantee doesn't mean, well, corporate has to deal with everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, and a very valid point, is that we are an extension of AdvoCare. And so if somebody doesn't like, you know, something that they are using, you know, a flavor, a lot of times that's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. It's flavors of stuff. And which blows my mind in itself, because there has yet to be anything that I have used with AdvoCare that I don't like the flavor of. I mean, but maybe somebody doesn't like the flavor. Give them the option of something else. You know, maybe you've got some vanilla shakes and say, well, how about I just change that out and we try some vanilla? You like vanilla shakes? Or, yeah, this grape spark's not my favorite. Well, great. I've got some fruit punch. Would you like to, you know, exchange that? So.
And look at that too as if you just want to toss it off the corporate, you have lost that person forever. Yeah. And if you can say just make a switch, then you might have just made a lifelong customer just because there's something as simple as flavor preference.
Yeah, because part of what we do is we're problem solvers too. You know, we want to help people solve their problems, whether it be nutritionally or financially. Okay, that's where we come from the area of health and finances. So before just jumping on that satisfaction guarantee, let's try to help people. Within reason, yeah. And if you need some help with that, reach out to whoever's helping you build your business, because they'll typically help you with that too and help walk through that. So you're not in that on your own and alone. So the Bulletproof Shield, do you see how that can really, you know, arm you against, you know, a lot of, well, what about this company? Boom! You know, I got this shield in front of me. You can't get me. So you've got these areas. You've got a way to respond back. And when you do respond back, don't do it in an attacking manner. that's what we tend to do as people. All right. When we share something with somebody and they come up with an objection, well, we just want to up the ante and jump on top of it. So when you're sharing and using the Bulletproof Shield, do it in a very, in the way that you'd want somebody to treat you, if you were asked a question. I mean, we've all been in those scenarios where we've been somewhere. Well, I'll use a restaurant, for instance, that we've been to a restaurant and we've ordered our food and it's come back and it's not been exactly what we wanted. And we've got two options at that point: to be nice or to be rude, right? And sometimes even when we're nice, the server might be rude because that person has the option to be nice or rude. So if you're nice and they're rude, you still have the option again to be nice or rude or to attack back. And it's the same thing with people coming up with objections with AdvoCare. Just be nice, be polite. Hey, be solid in what you know, because you know what AdvoCare is doing for you. You've seen what AdvoCare is doing for others, and come into it from the standpoint of you're really just trying to help them. You're just trying to help them find their fit. And if it's not right for them right now, that's okay. But you don't have to try to push a hard sell. I hate using that word push because that's not what we do at all. We're not about pushing. We're just trying to see if, hey, is this right for you? It's right for me and my family. This is what we see. This is where we're going. Is it right for you? So make sure that you've got the Bulletproof Shield in your back pocket. I had said that I was not going to, I thought that I'd hidden this slide, but what I want to do now is, since we talked about the Bulletproof Shield, people are going to say, okay, well, what products? What about the products? We're not going to go deep into a lot of products, and here's why. Especially the folks that are in this room, all right, and here locally. Monday, Franklin, Tennessee, corporate is coming down and doing an inside-out training. If you want to know about product, if you want an in-depth product training, get in that room. I'm gonna say it's almost a non-negotiable. I mean, you need to be in that room. If at all possible, get in that room. You'll find out that as you build this business, you need those pieces to kind of help fill your cup a little bit, because it can, I mean, let's be honest, in anything we do, it can be a little draining at times, especially if you talk to a couple of people and they tell you no right away. You need to get your cup filled up, and this is a great way to do it. They're going to be training not only on the nutritional supplement line, but also on the skincare line, so that you can go back armed with the ability to share with people what you've got and what the availability is. And again, this is corporate. This is not just, distributors sitting in a room talking about what the products have done for them. This is coming from the science side of things, and it is going to be an absolute knock your socks off training. Monday in Franklin.
The two areas where I see it helping the most is when you're helping someone get started on a product, and they're like, well, what I'm looking for something to help me X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can and then the second way I can see this being so helpful for us is in troubleshooting.
Yeah.
When someone's like on something and it's not working out and trying something different, because like TJ said earlier, we're not going to run out and post on our Facebook page, tonight I learned about SYS and it has this in it and that in it, and you should, that's why you should try it. That's not the reasoning behind it. It's so that you can help people that you're already in conversation with find their correct match.
Yep. So let's talk about a few products real quick, especially some of our top sellers, and break down what the 24-day challenge is. Because when you talk to people and you share your story, and then you've basically used the Bulletproof Shield, and they've you've calmed them down a little bit, and they're saying, well, okay, so what are you using? You need to be able to explain to them some of the products. If you're really new, and when I say really new, within 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 months, 6 months of AdvoCare, you need to use that opportunity to introduce them to whoever's helping you. Okay, don't feel like that you have to know these things. All right, you're going to learn a lot of this stuff as we help you earn. I love saying learn as you earn, because that's what Jason and Angela did with us. That's how we made an extra $1,000 our first month. And I don't know that we share this a lot, but we have not made less than $1,000 a month since we got started. So it's all about putting somebody else to work and letting them help you use their expertise to find fits with people. It's not because we're more knowledgeable about anything. It's just we're more ingrained in AdvoCare. We know a little bit more about it than you do right now, okay? And so let us help you with that. And so we need to know about some of our product lines. And this is the Metabolic Nutrition System. Like Casey said, M&S, Metabolic Nutrition System, and Spark are 2 top sellers. So really what I would really like for you to know is that for your own information, as we're talking to people and as we're walking them through that you've introduced us to, that we're going to be talking about a couple different formulas, because the 24-day challenge, it's not a one-size-fits-all. All right, it's got a lot of options that we can work in there and help people find their fit. You'll hear me say that a lot. I want people to find their fit, because it's just like putting on a pair of shoes. You know, if somebody came in and put my size 14s on, Casey put them on, they don't fit, right? And if I went and got Will, my 7-year-old's Nikes, and tried to put them on, they wouldn't fit. Okay, so I'm trying to find the right fit for folks so we can ask some questions about, you know, what their right fit might be. And just from this standpoint, this is just to kind of give you an idea of why we're asking those questions. From the metabolic nutrition standpoint, we have 3 different formulations. Okay, we have E, we have C, and we have 3. If I'm talking to somebody and they say, I am just exhausted at the end of the day. By the time I get off work, I have to go and get a power nap. Sometimes I just go home and crash and I just don't even get up. They're telling me that they need a little extra energy, and I might work them into the in the E program. There'll be some other questions that I'll ask them, but E might be for them. I use E. I love it. Now I started with 3. This is where I want to start most people. Okay, just as a FYI sidetrack question. As you're building 24-day challenges first time through, solid nutrition is a great place to start people, unless they're really, really adamant about, hey, I need some help in a couple areas. So E, energy. C is for control. Maybe I'm talking to somebody and they say, I do great until right after lunch. And then after lunch, about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I need my Dr. Pepper and my Snicker bar. You know, that was me. And so I'm going to say, well, maybe we need to help you a little bit more, a little stronger on the appetite control side. Now you'll see here that all of these have effects of all of the have aspects of energy and appetite control. Okay, all of them do. It's just how it's focused. Okay, but a lot of folks, especially people that have never been in any kind of vitamin regimen, that are just kind of getting kick-started, the 3 is a absolute great place to start. Actually, Max 3 is our #1 seller of all of the M&S phases. Okay, so it's the fit for a lot of people. So don't automatically feel like, I don't say, well, just because I use E that I'm going to put everybody on E. Okay, and I don't make the assumption that all guys need to have E, you know, either. So don't make those assumptions. But again, let us help you with that. And as you learn, you'll know the questions to ask and help people get started. So that's one product, obviously. Anybody have any questions about metabolic nutrition system for that?
The vitamins and nutrition the same, minus the.
Yeah, the core vitamins, the Coreplex is the same. In the Max 3, there are some additional nutritional components that make it the most balanced across all 3 levels: energy, appetite control, nutrition. Okay, but from a vitamin standpoint, all of them implement the Coreplex, which is the multivitamins and things of that nature. So yeah, but yeah, good question.
What are the ingredients that differentiate the E and the C? As far as
in E, you've got some thermogenic properties that are going to help you with a little extra energy, but also burning. And then you've just got some suppressants, some herbal suppressants, appetite suppressants here that help just curb appetite. You know,
herbal.
Yeah. It's all herbal and minerals. You know, it's all that kind of stuff. Nothing crazy.
That's the one area I haven't really focused.
And that's good, Nick. Man, at this point, don't worry. You don't have to. Okay, you'll learn those things.
I just said, if this is going to make me lose weight, I'm just going to take it. I'll take 2. If you give me 2, I did not care what was in that box. Well, what I found out was when I started to share it with other people, they cared. And so if you go to choose the challenge and then go to trim challenge and learn more, at the very bottom, it says instructions for M&S 3, Max E, and Max C. and you open up each of those, and it has a pack,
Mhm.
and it
shows
details everything that's in every one of those packs. And so what I do is I send that link. Like, well, first of all, I read through it to kind of see, and then when someone asks, well, what's in this, I will
Mhm.
send them that, and they, you know, they have a better idea of, well, what am I taking it
Yeah.
in the morning? What am I taking at lunch?
It's funny too. You don't. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but again, you don't have to do that.
I don't do it unless someone's
Unless-
just adamant
right.
about knowing.
And here's the funny thing: typically, when you send that stuff to folks, they don't read it.
Yeah.
They just want to know that you know,
Right.
right? And that's okay too. But I encourage you to know. It's really, those sheets are cool because they even show you what the capsule looks like.
Right. It lets them
And what it
associate
is.
the
Yeah,
visual.
you know when you're taking what in that strip pack, what this does. And so it's,
Because you know there's a probiotic and you know there's a megaplex. But
But you know-
besides that, the other stuff.
yeah,
you
what are
get,
the other
you know.
things? So,
Right.
so yeah, good questions. Next is Spark. Do you need to know everything about Spark? No. But I can tell you, you're going to feel the difference, and you're going to know what Spark does. And by knowing a little bit about Spark, you can help meet objections, you know, with folks, especially folks that, oh, I don't do energy drinks. Well, do you? So you don't drink coffee? You don't? Well, you know, I drink Cokes and I drink coffee, and like, okay. Basically, you're doing that for energy. I mean, there's no other reason typically that people are. So, number one, it's our number one seller. This is really key. Is that, and I really truly wish that we could differentiate and that we weren't called an energy drink, because people put a negative connotation with energy drink, but we are energy. I mean, that's what Spark is. It's not about giving you this, I'm going to drink this 8 ounces of sugar loaded up with all kinds of other, I'm sorry, I don't like to badmouth, but that's not what we're doing. We're putting vitamins and minerals together so that we can awaken up your senses, so we can get alertness, get more focus. Not this, I am going to go run up and down the road and scream and my heart beat out of my chest kind of energy. That's not what we're associating with, and that's what people associate energy drinks with. So that's why you need to know what Spark does and how it differentiates. It's sugar-free, 3 to 5 hours of energy, level sustained. It really does act pretty quick. If you drink a Spark, within a few minutes, typically no more than 15, you start to feel this. I think I can handle this.
Now, let me ask you this. The PA I work with, he is 80.
Mhm.
And he's diabetic. Now, I just sold him a big jug of Spark.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, you know, I need to make sure it's okay. I figured it was, but I let him sample it one day, and he loved it.
Yeah.
Because I go back there, and he'll be reading and just
Almost
was
falls.
tired, no energy. But
Yeah.
after that one day, it's all it took. I let him have one, and then he bought a whole
Canister.
canister.
Well, from that standpoint, here's a story, and this is a personal connection that I had. I was at a training, and our PsyMed board was there, and Dr. Stanley Dudrick was there, and Dr. Dudrick holds a very high level of credibility in the areas of surgery and medicine. I mean, he pioneered TPN. He was the man that invented feeding people through the vein. I mean, he's literally attributed with saving millions and millions of lives. And so we were talking, and there was around, questions. And I said, Dr. Dudrick, how much do you like Spark, and what's your favorite flavor? Just kind of, and he said, I absolutely love Spark. He said, I actually drink, he's 84. All right. And that was then. He may be a little older now. It's been a few years ago. He said, I drink one in the morning and I'll drink one in the afternoon. Days that I'm doing surgery, still performing surgery at 84, 85, 86, I'll drink 3. So read into that however you want. I mean, he's in his mid to late 80s and has no problems with it, because most of those folks are typically coffee drinkers and cola drinkers and stuff anyways. And you're basically replacing those exchange system with vitamins and nutrients. There's really nothing in there that is negative, by any stretch. It's just nutrition. It's a nutrition drink that the side effects are energy. It's mental focus and energy. So 21 vitamins, minerals, nutrients, health and balance source of energy. Sharpens mental focus. That's the one that I get, that I see, most prevalent, that's easiest for me to share with folks. It's not this, I drink this and I'm just running out the gate. It's okay. All right. I can focus. I can get my task done. I don't have to worry about, because that's what I associated a lot of, because I used to drink some occasionally. So that's what I did. Christy?
One of the things I say if I'm speaking to a woman that helps make a connection with them is I'll ask if they've ever been pregnant before, or if they even if they just have kids. And if they say yeah, I'll say, remember before you had kids how you could remember things? And they go, yes. I'll say you'll feel like that for about 3 to 5 hours, and so it makes that connection.
That's good.
To help what to expect.
I've never heard that, but I think that's great because I've never had kids. Never had kids.
You don't know. Until Nick, he's like,
oh, I'm so.
I got the kids today. I hope they got babysitters. Because I don't.
I don't remember. All right, so that's Evanescent Spark, and we're going to hit on some of the products that are in the 24-day challenge, obviously, because those are pieces. Here's some. Oh, okay, I was at the right one. Herbal Cleanse. This is the real deal, guys. This is a very, very, very important part of anybody's Advocare regimen, okay? We start with it in the 24-day challenge for a reason, okay? And I'm from the construction world, so I equate a lot of things, and I use a lot of examples of, building. So I'm going to use the house that we were able to build over here from my mom and dad. Before we built that house, it was a grown-up, it was a pond that never held water, okay? And it was there for, who knows, 30-some-odd years, 40-some-odd years. Just grown up, thick and gnarly. You couldn't walk through it without catching your arm on briars, and, you came out and you had those little tag-alongs and stuff all over you. And before we could do anything else on that piece of property, we had to clean it up. We had to clear it off. We had to get it ready for what was coming. And that's what the Herbal Cleanse does. It helps your bodies get rid of those toxins and wastes and things that we just hang on to. Now, I love the way Casey says it. It's a gentle and uneventful cleanse. Because typically when you hear the word cleanse, you think of, I'm going to have to drink a gallon of green goo and sit by the bathroom. That's not what this cleanse is doing. This is actually a food cleanse. The cleansing that's happening in your body is through what you're putting into it, from the standpoint of lean and clean foods, the soluble, insoluble fibers that we're getting, helping get your body regulated by the probiotics that we're getting there. We're helping with inflammation, circulatory with the omegas, okay? That's what we're doing with the Herbal Cleanse. It's not about cramping. It's not about bloating. It's about just flushing. All right, really, and because we get a little personal in Advocare, you cleanse your body more through number 1 than you do through number 2. All right, if you get my drift. All right, so a lot of liquid fluids, we're flushing those toxins and stuff out of us. We're getting our body ready. We're getting our gut ready for what we're going to put on it, what that house that we're going to build, that foundation that we're going to come up with. So that's why the cleanse is so important. Do you have to start with a cleanse? I get that question a lot. Do you have to start with a cleanse? No, you don't have to, but I recommend it. Okay, and we do a cleanse every 90 days. All right, it's kind of like you'll see it here in a second. It's kind of like an oil change for your body. After you've put so many miles in your car and you've run that oil through and it's just worked and worked and worked, you need to clean the oil out. You need to clean it up. For your dryer to run efficiently, let me just go to that. You got to clean the lint trap. If you let that lint build up in that dryer, are your clothes getting dry? No. If you let that build up in your body, the toxins in your body, is it going to work efficiently? No. So you need to cleanse, just like a filter in your house.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, there you go. That was that.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, why is there dust floating around here? But that's a big one. I mean, if you don't clean your air filter, you're not getting quality air into your house. So it's the same thing for our bodies. We need to be able, because here's the deal, guys. No matter how good we try to eat, and there's been a really good push in this country from a health standpoint, people trying to get a little bit more natural, more organic, which those are just words in my mind. They're a little empty in a lot of cases, but people are trying to eat a little bit better, okay? But no matter how good we eat, no matter what we put in our mouth, nutritionally, it is not fitting everything we need, and it's not what it was. An apple today is not what an apple was 10 or 15 years ago. The soils are not the same, none of that stuff. So what we're putting in our body just kind of doesn't do like it did before. And so our body needs to be cleansed of some of that stuff every now and then. So those are just some metaphors that we use. It helps it just kind of helps clean you up, get you ready, okay? And again, it's not about cramping and bloating, and there are two different flavors, all right? That's something we always ask people. If you've ever been with me or Casey for that matter, when we're talking about somebody in a 24-day challenge, or if you've ever talked to us about a 24-day challenge, we ask you, do you have any texture issues? Right? Some people just have issues with textures.
That's the only thing. Oh, I'm not picky at all, but I have to say that citrus,
The fiber
I
drink.
have to just chug a load.
Yeah.
Because
And
it
that's-
does have, I mean, is there something you can tell people to,
Here's what
you don't want to say mixed juice with it.
no, you don't.
So they're
What
going
I
to want to
do,
do that.
just so you know, and this is the legit, I'm not just saying this, I drink a fiber drink every morning, not just when I'm taking a cleanse, okay? Because I think fiber is very important. We don't get enough in us. And so I drink one every day. And so I ask people, hey, can you at least sacrifice 6 days of this?
Yeah.
And you're just going to do
That's
3
all
to
it
3.
is.
Yeah, it's just 3 days. You take a little time in 3 days. What I suggest people do is you're going to be starting your day with a Spark anyways. I like Orange Spark's my favorite. And so I mix my Orange Spark with my fiber drink, very, very cold water. The colder the water, the less likely it is to set up as quick, okay? Because it is, it is there's soluble and insoluble fibers there. So when you do that, it kind of tastes, it makes your mind a little bit more like a real pulpy orange juice, because it gives it a little bit more orange hint. But I'm no different. I mean, I'd mix it up and I drink it fast.
That would probably be fine. It's just
Yeah.
straight up drinking it. It's like,
Yeah, it's a quick drink.
And
Don't.
that's good. I know people are going to complain about
Yeah.
it. That's why I want to have an answer.
Yeah. And here's the cool thing. You know, you can look at it from both directions. People say, well, why do you start them off with that? You know, why is the first exposure that people have as part of this is a fiber drink? Well, to think about it this way, only 25% of the time of the 24-day challenge are they drinking it. It's just quick, you're done. I mean, and you're getting it done with. You're out of it. It's out of the way. So I always try to look on the positive side. It's quick. You're doing it. You're getting effective really very, right early on, so that we can be very productive later on. So
Now, my friend, our friend, Dusty, he likes anything but healthy food.
Mhm.
But she ordered him the peaches and cream,
right.
and he said he's fine with it.
It's
And that-
typically more.
And
as
that's
well
and
as
that's the other.
better.
that was-
I've heard a rumor. Is it true that it doesn't work more?
No, that's not the case. It is actually, they're both effective. Okay, the difference is that it's milder. Okay, it's still got fibers in it, but the fibers are a little bit more soluble and broke down. It's a thinner. It's smoother. It still works. It's still effective, but it's not. It's a milder cleanse.
I see
Okay.
what you're saying.
I would always recommend people to do the citrus, because it's kind of like
What do you think
It's-
citrus, is supposed to be better for you, like lemon water,
It'll-
citrus, everything?
Sure.
It's supposed to be good.
I kind of equate the two like this. If I go in there and after our boys have eaten dinner, I mean, they love that little stainless steel top we got because they put their handprints all over it. Drives us nuts, but they love it. Okay. So after they've eaten, I can go in and maybe they've had a peanut butter sandwich and there's peanut butter smeared all over there. I can get soap and water and a washcloth and wipe that off, and I can clean it, right? Or I can get something that's a little bit more abrasive, maybe that has a little bit more texture to it, and wipe it and clean it a little bit more. Which one?
Like lemon Lysol.
Well, just anything. Which one would you say would be more effective? Probably scrubbing it a little bit harder than just soap and
So
water.
basically, it's just more gentle.
It
And that's
is.
the
It's
way
just
you need to
milder.
tell
It's a little
people.
bit more gentle. So, but they're both effective. They both work. And if people have texture issues, that's where we go with
You
folks.
just go ahead and tell me if you just agree.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do it, and that's okay. So, All right. The cleansing metaphors, yada yada. There's those. We talked about those a second ago. So those are the key pieces really of the 24-day challenge outside of your omegas and things. And we can talk about those. But I just want you to have a good overall concept of what's going on in that challenge. We're here because we all see the potential of building a business with Advocare, possibly, right? And so we want to know, as a business person, where's the money at? Okay, this is where the money's at. M&S and Spark, over 60% of sales volume through Advocare comes through these two products. And so after your 24-day challenge, people say, what's next? You continue on that second phase of the challenge, which is M&S and Spark. Now, we're going to encourage you to continue using the shakes. We're going to continue to encourage you to use Catalyst, omegas, all of those things, even though you get some omegas during, in your M&S packs. We're going to encourage you to continue to do those. But push comes to shove, you want to keep people right here. And people are going to say, well, that sometimes that's just really, that may be a little costly. That's always that's a big one, that objection that I think we all face is, how much does this cost? Well, I never focus on the cost. Again, I come back to the Bulletproof Shield. I use my story and I use other people's stories, and I try to help people see the benefits. It's just like we've been talking already. It is an exchange process. I mean, most of the folks that are complaining, man, I can't believe that Spark, a canister of Spark is $52. Well, that's retail. I actually get mine 40% off, so I only pay 74 cents a serving. That's pretty
I
sweet.
didn't get any complaint, of course, I guess, because he's a PA and he makes pretty good money, but he didn't complain at all about the price.
Yeah.
Or nothing. I even said, hey, all you gotta do is pay this fee. I make it like a Sam's Club is how
Absolutely.
I say, look, you go to Sam's Club, you pay a fee. Because my biggest thing right now is I'm selling stuff, but it's getting a distributor out of people because all they see that is, well, I don't care about making the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fine, but you get the discount from then on out because you're gonna want to keep taking these products.
And why not get a discount?
Pay retail, or do you want to get the discount? So that's what I have kind of a hard time so far.
Well, and it'll, especially as people get kind of hooked on product, and they continue to use more and more. He loves the Spark. He may say, hey, do you have any bars or anything? Because I'm looking for something for a meal. And, as folks start doing that, you need to just always say, hey, I'm not trying to push you one way or the other, obviously, but it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and get a discount on this stuff.
Yeah.
If there's not ever a minimum, there's no auto ships. You just get it when you need it. It just makes a lot of sense. So that's where I focus on the benefits. And also on the exchange system, because a 24-day challenge at a retail cost is $7.62, I think, right? And actually, the next slide let's get into it. This is what an average person spends a day on food. Average cost of food. That considers your lunch, maybe a mid-morning snack, mid-afternoon snack, $9, and I think that's pretty conservative. All right, because I can remember when I was in the working world, I'd go eat on a good day. If I wanted to spend as least amount of money I could, I'd go to Subway. I'd get a $5 footlong. You don't ever just get a $5 footlong.
No.
You buy a $1.49 bag of chips and you get a drink. So by the time you're all said and done, it's $7.50, $8, maybe $9 if you get a cookie. I like the cookies. So I mean, just that right there is $9. And if you go to a vending machine, I mean, there's nothing in a vending machine less than 75 cents or $1. And I was one of those that get two things out of the vending machine. So beverages, and this is $1.50 on coffee, tea, and soda. When I think $1.50 for coffee, there's no way, because if somebody's paying for coffee, they're usually getting, something at Starbucks or somewhere like that, a gourmet type coffee, and it's on up there. So that just adds up to $11.50, and that's a bare minimum figure. And I think that we could probably all agree with that there's a large majority of people out there, it's not everybody, but the average daily cost, $11.50. I think that's pretty conservative. 24-day challenge, a retail customer, I was off, $7.92 retail cost. And with that, you're going to be exchanging your $5 coffee, You're going to be exchanging a breakfast during a good portion of that challenge. Could be the whole challenge if you decided to. You're not going to be wanting those afternoon sugary, nasty snacks in most cases. So there's a huge exchange system that goes on there. And then if somebody says, you know, I want to use these products for the rest of my life from an advisor level, $4.75 a day. That's for the full. That would be if you did every product in the 24-day challenge every day.
Now, the wholesale, is that the people that pay the membership?
Yeah, that's a 20% discount.
Okay,
Yeah.
20% discount.
Yeah, I'll always try to sell it. Because since there are 4 ways to get involved, and we'll get that later, I always let people know it's a wholesale. You know, you're called a distributor, but it's a wholesale. It's a discount, kind of like a Sam's Club or cost. But if nothing else, man, get people on M&S and Spark, because look at that. A retail customer just on M&S and Spark is less than $5 a day, and I tell you, you will absolutely help people change their lives on M&S and Spark. And there's a lot of people that just take M&S and Spark, and so that is very cost efficient. And again, at the advisor level, $3 a day for complete nutrition into your body. So yeah, you're right, Brian. And so you're getting great cost benefits here. I mean, great cost benefits with the exchange system, because you just have to help people realize that they're not adding, they're not sacrificing, they're exchanging. And the benefits are you're going to feel better. You know, you just told me that you are exhausted at the end of the day, that you don't have time, you don't have the energy throughout your day to be efficient at work. You know, I guarantee you the boss is going to love you more with these products in your body. All right. And so once you get these into people's bodies, you don't want to just sell product to people. Okay. One of the things that we love to say is that these products come with a voice, and that's what's different about Advocare. You can go to an XYZ vitamin store and pull something off the shelf, but if you have a problem with that product, are you going to go back to that 18-year-old that's behind the counter making a minimum wage to say, hey, this didn't do what I thought it did. Why did this not do what I thought it did? Or I don't feel this way. No, you're not going to do that. Why? Number one, you don't trust them. And number two, you just, because they're not knowledgeable, right? And so we want to make sure that we're following up with people and make sure that they get the right help. And so this is actually the follow-up schedule for folks on a 24-day challenge. All right. And it's very critical that you do this. Okay. It's very important. If you've got couples doing it, then make sure you check with one or the other. You don't have to check with both. If you want to check with both, you can. That's great. But on the first or second day, follow up with a call. Really, it needs to be the first day. At the end of the first day, follow up with a call and say, hey, how you feel today? How did you take your products? Okay. And we'll talk about some of those questions in just a minute. So those are good. Actually, on the 24-day challenge, you need to follow up on days 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 on the first part, and then however you find the fit after 10, and then no later than the 15th or 16th day. And here's why. The first day is something new, right? They've done something a little bit different than they have. You want to make sure it's all going good. The third day, you want to follow up because the program changes just a little bit that's laid out in that herbal cleanse. 5 changes just a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know
7.
what I did? I accidentally took, because it was late at night, I opened the herbal cleanse, I took a probiotic and I was sick.
And see,
That's just me. That's how I
not
am.
that
I'm
won't
screwing
ruin
things
the
up.
challenge by
And
any
now I
stretch.
know to tell people,
Yeah.
hey, the first 3
Yep.
days you need to be focused.
Yep.
Because when I did it, I wasn't focused. I had other things going on.
And-
First, to make
Time's
sure
typically a little bit of a learn.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It absolutely
and
is.
prepare them.
Yeah.
The first 3 days are going to be like confusing, and then you're
Yeah, and here's the other thing.
Got
We've got some great resources that are available. Every one of the herbal cleanses comes with instructions in it. There's one. There's a virtual coach at choosethechallenge.com. Choosethechallenge.com is a great place to go to get some information to people. There is a 24-day challenge app that is incredible if you have not
That is
used it
awesome.
or seen it. It helps keep you on track from the standpoint of what you take, when you take it, how much you need to drink, food intake. It's a phenomenal app, okay? And it's available for iPhones and Androids. So that's always out there. And then you want to follow up with day 10 because that's when they're getting ready to start the M&S phase. And once they start the M&S phase, it's pretty continual. Now, why do you think you want to follow up on day 15, 16, or 17?
See the progress.
See progress. That's a good one.
You need to help them formulate a plan for moving forward.
Where do we go from here? All right. Because you don't want to get on day 22 or 23 and people say, oh, this is awesome. I'm ready to, I want to keep going on this. You can, but you'll have to get overnight shipping. Well, you don't want to do that. I mean, that's not the most cost effective. So you want to make sure you got your plan in place where they want to go next. But the cool thing is that day 15, 16, or 17, somewhere in that neighborhood, you can start asking questions. Hey, you want to continue on the goals that you're going, or do you want to set some higher goals? Do you want to try to increase that? Do you want to incorporate something else? Maybe they haven't been on Catalyst, and if you haven't, oh, shame on you. But maybe they want to incorporate Catalyst later on. Maybe they decided they want to, they're going to start going to the gym, and they want to try, or they've been going to the gym, and they want to start using a pre-workout of some sort. Maybe they want to get muscle, they want to get jacked up, and they're going to use muscle fuel. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they're needing some additional protein. Maybe they want, protein is an afternoon snack. Maybe that's where the Pro 20s come in, or the bars come in. Maybe they just want a great, nutritious snack. And, they're only 11 grams of protein, 170 calories. I think I'm going to eat one right now, right in front of you guys. Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Still in rush hour.
you guys that are online, I will make sure to get you a bar sometime.
I would say I have.
I want to see you love it.
We're only running the pilot. They've been around 3 years.
All right, I'm throwing bars around. What's that? It's right under that chair right up there.
It's like Christmas.
It's like Christmas all over.
I saw the gingerbread man on it.
Oh yeah. Awesome bars. So maybe somebody
And
just
they
wants to
sold
snack.
half in 1 week, half of the stock.
Yeah,
So if
half
you
the
want
stock.
one,
So if you want them, you better order them.
like,
Oh, yeah.
You can put them in your freezer. I'm not saying we do or don't.
Or your microwave.
I have something to say about what you were just saying. I've found, I've been doing it like almost 7 or 8 months. But if you do not let people know on the front end or kind of speak this truth to them, starting out with a 24-day challenge, that this is just the beginning of working towards your goals, then many people really do think that this is some magic 24 days and they can quit at the end, and then they're so shocked that within 60 days they're back to where they started before the 24-day challenge. So if you can speak what I've heard over and over again, but probably didn't really learn to speak to people from the beginning, is 90 days of consistent and correct use of Advocare products is going to get you closer to your goals.
Absolutely.
The 24-day challenge is just the beginning. The 24-day challenge is just the
It
beginning.
is. I mean, we're about change. We're about lifestyle change. Okay. We're not, again, we don't want to try to sell people a bill of goods. We want to help people get healthy. And can you make a huge step in the right direction in 24 days? Yes, you can. But it's no different than any other fad diet if you just stop.
That's why I like the app, because it tells you to do your measurements.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 2 seconds, and that right there at least shows some, well, it shows a subjective proof at the end.
Progress,
Yeah,
yeah.
it shows it.
You can say, this is my inches, because everybody's so concerned with that scale.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I've dropped a pant size, but I weigh more because where I work out with weights,
Absolutely.
and it helps put that in perspective. Well, I only lost 5 pounds, but I lost 8 inches or something.
And that's huge. I mean, that is really huge. Not everybody's going to lose weight on the 24-day challenge. Your body's going to do what your body needs to do. So those are some cool things. Here's some great troubleshooting questions when you get them. When you started out, hey, just tell me how you took your products today. Tell me when you took them. If somebody says, I took my pack and boy, I got really nauseated and I had to eat. Well, I'm going to say, well, tell me how that happened. Well, I got up first thing this morning. Well, it's usually around lunchtime. Right around 11:30, I took my pack, but I didn't get to eat till 1. Ding, ding, ding. The package says no more than 30 minutes prior. All right. That's a maximum. Some people, it needs to be scaled back. Some people can't their bodies can't take it. And it's not because you're doing anything bad to your body. It's just your body's getting a lot real quickly, and it's absorbing all of this, and it doesn't know what to do with all of it. And so it needs something to temper all of that nutrition, and that's where the food comes in. So if you have somebody that says, oh, I got a little nauseated, well, how long did you wait in between your pre-meal pack and your food? So if they said, well, it was about 45 minutes, hey, let's move that to no more than 30. You know, 15's okay. Worst case scenario, don't tell everybody. If you need to take it right before, that's okay too. The reason that they want you to go ahead and get them in your system, so they get in your system. They're a lot of them are time release anyway, so they just want them to get there and start absorbing. But you can take it with your food. Absorption rate may be a little different. You still get results, but they just want to get those in there. So tell me how you took your products today? And again, did you take your vitamin pack on an empty stomach? It says take the vitamin pack. That's the little green ones. Take it with food, okay? Because they're pretty stout. I mean,
Are you talking about this is because I'm only on day like 5 or 6.
Yeah, this is the M&S. This is when you get the M&S. This is the vitamin pack. Yeah, take them with food. Now, well, I'm not even gonna go there. How long was it before you ate after you took your first M&S pack? That's what we just talked about, you know?
Like for me, it says 30 minutes, but I had 25 minutes, or it's coming back up. I mean, I'm not kidding. It is like 2
Really?
minutes.
I went like an hour the other day on accident.
Everyone's different. Some people have to take it with food, and so when you're talking to people, you just keep saying,
But now,
closer
don't
to
you
food,
need to
closer
say
to food.
certain foods or no? Because certain things are absorbed better by certain foods.
Well, and on the
Like, you don't go out
challenge,
and get a biscuit
Yeah.
gravy.
yeah, on the challenge, you know, we're
That's
going to
how
make
I
the
do it at
assumption. We're going to make the assumption that during the challenge. I mean, that's one of the questions we're going to ask. Are you following the plan? Are you eating lean and clean?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure. So you're assuming that they're eating the lean and clean. I'm going to have to stand up for a second, and I hope I don't lose my foot's cramped. I'm so sorry. You're going to be eating lean and clean during that time. So again, you want to make sure they're staying as close to, and that's what these pre-meal packs in the vitamins and stuff with the 25.
Well, I'll tell you, that app, there's the one person that
I can see.
I can't get my doctor on because he's 80. He don't have a smartphone. He don't do that.
Yeah. Well, there's some
But
other.
if you can get the app, the app is just like for like me with 2 kids and running around here and there.
It's awesome.
All I do is hit the app.
Everywhere
it
you
tells
go, you
what to
have your
do.
guide.
And then when you log your lunch, I don't know if you already know this, but like you go put in your lunch, it only gives you certain things you can eat. You gotta pick like, well, crap. I either gotta have tuna, turkey, ground,
Yeah.
it tells you, and then you go to your complex card. Okay, was it whole grain? So if you have the app, you almost have to go out of your way to cheat. Unless you're
Yes,
just
if you're going to
that
follow it,
bad
you're
and,
absolutely right. You're absolutely
know,
right. But even at
just
that, it's just making smart decisions. And then the last thing that we always ask people, are you eating enough? Especially if I get that, oh, I was hungry in the afternoon. Folks, let me be straight up and honest with you. If you're eating 6 times a day and you're getting hungry, there's something wrong with you. All right? I have never in my life, when I started the 24-day challenge, and I used to competitively lift, so I was eating a lot of food. I had never eaten as much as I was during the 24-day challenge and since. Okay? Never. I was not getting hungry. So if you are, then we need to look at that. Okay? It could be the things that you're eating. It could be when you're eating and how much you're eating. Okay? And we're not going to ever tell you don't eat foods. And we're not going to tell you to drink a shake for every meal in the challenge. That's not what we do. Okay? Now, are the shakes great options? Yes, I drink a shake for breakfast every day. They're perfect. They're perfect. Absolutely perfect. So there's some troubleshooting things there that we'll talk through. All right, how to respond when you're new, especially on troubleshooting. This is a lot of you guys in here are new. You know, somebody may call you with okay, what's going on? First off, do not panic. Never forget your story. Never forget the other people's story, and these products work. They have for 22 years, and they're going to continue to from here until the end of time. Okay, they're going to continue to work. They've not only worked for you, but they work for hundreds of thousands of others. So again, I'm just saying these things so that you can just take a deep breath and realize, don't panic. There are uncommon issues that arise. Some people, I'll be honest, you are going to come across a lot. Casey might slap me for saying this, maybe not. You're going to come. You actually Google does record these. You're going to come across people that say, "Oh, I'm sensitive to caffeine. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, oh, I'm just super sensitive to caffeine. But I promise you, if you are a fly on the wall and you followed them around for a week, a lot of them, they're going to happy hour at Sonic and getting, a large sweet tea or a Coke, or, they're drinking sweet tea with their dinners, or they're drinking 3 or 4 cups of coffee in the morning. People like to, use excuses of why they're not getting results. Because typically that's when you get the excuses, is when they're not getting the results that they thought that they would get. I mean, let's be honest. You can't put these products into your body and use them consistently and correctly and not get some kind of results. It's impossible for that to happen. So you're gonna run into some of those objections. Remember, push those things back to the Bulletproof Shield. Now, there are some legitimate things that are going on, and we want to try to catch these on the front side. But there are some legitimate things that arise, and if there are, we're going to help people fix those. That's, again, back to the Bulletproof Shield. This is satisfaction guarantee. We're going to help you find your fit. We're going to do the right thing. Always with AdvoCare, we're always wanting to do the right thing. So don't be alarmed if you come up with somebody that has a something that you've never heard of before. This gives you another opportunity to introduce them to a friend, because that's a really key part of the basics is the success system. And we've got about 25 more minutes, and that's where I want to go from there, is into the success system. We've talked about the fundamentals, which is a part of a basics training. We've talked about some of the products. We talked about troubleshooting with folks. We're covering a lot of areas, and we're going to continue covering basic training things, throughout the first of the year. But I want to see if I can't fast forward here to the Bulletproof Shield, or to the success system. How do I do it? Where's success system? I tell you what, let's focus the next little bit of time on how do I do this thing? How do I move forward? How do I plug into the success system? And it's all going to start with packaging your story. This is a big piece. You remember me early on telling you that when you start a conversation, start a conversation, ask questions, you listen, and you tell people what you're doing. The tell part is your story, okay? The 30-second story we outlined early on, but if you're in a deeper conversation and you've got time for your 2-minute story, this is where it needs to be. And this is going to be homework number 2 for everybody, okay? This will be homework number 2. Here's what your story. Here's where I was. Here's what I saw. Here's what I did or what happened. And here's where I'm going. There's 4 key pieces that you need to communicate with folks when you're sharing your story. Here's where I was. I was 319 pounds. I was exhausted at the end of the day when I came home from work. And I didn't have the energy. I saw my friends Jason and Angela had shared with us that they had some great results on product. And so I thought that we thought that we'd try it out. All right. I got on the 24-day challenge. I lost 16 pounds in 24 days, and I wasn't even following the guidelines like I should have. I was coming home at the end of the day. I was playing with my son. I was in the floor. I had the extra energy. And here's where I'm going. Now I've been using these products. I've lost on to lose 65 pounds, but that's not the end of my journey. We actually saw this as an opportunity to build a business. And, now we're on chart to do whatever. Okay. That's just a quick snapshot, but those are the 4 key pieces of anybody's story. So I hope that online and in here, you've written these down, and that's homework number 2. All right. So in the same email that you send me your goal, your next 2-month goal, I want you to send me a quick snapshot of your story. Now, it's hard to write it out and say this is a 2-minute story, but I want you to give me those key parts. Here's where I was. It's not a physical location. I was not sitting at 3436 Poplar Grove Road. It's where you were in life, okay? What was going on with you when you saw AdvoCare, all right, or when AdvoCare found you? Here's what I saw, okay? What did you see with AdvoCare? Did you see an opportunity to get your life back, start losing some weight? Did you see an opportunity to help break the financial cycle, maybe make a little extra income. Here's what I did. I got started on the 24-day challenge. We got to Advisor. We saw the potential of this business. We got to Advisor because I wanted to save the most off the products that we could. I mean, I love my wife for a lot of reasons, but she won't pay full price for anything, and I love that. So so we got to Advisor. We wanted 40% off our products. And here's where I'm going. Since we did that, 4.5 years later, being consistent with that, now we're both full-time parents and have our AdvoCare business, you know, when we earn $15,000 to $18,000 a month. And we're on track to, here's where I'm going. I'm on track to, here's where I'm going. So those are the 4 pieces. So I want you to do that. Maybe your story, here's where I'm going, is a weight loss side of things. But maybe here's where I'm going and you're just getting started is, my friends TJ and Casey are helping me. My friend Christy's helping me, and I am on track. I have a plan in place to be earning $500 by the end of the year. A month, whatever that looks like. All right. Here's where you're going. That's part of your vision and your dream. Here's where I'm going. All right. You've got a plan. We will put that plan in place and help you find what that is. But you need to let people know where you're going. So how to package your story. It's 2 minutes in length, maximum 2 minutes. You start talking over 2 minutes, you just lose people. If it's less than 2 minutes, great. All right. Less than 2 minutes is great as well. Cut out any unnecessary details. If it's not necessary to say, it's necessary not to say. That's where the advo vomit comes in. Don't talk too much. You know, let people, when somebody makes any kind of statement to you, your mind starts processing it. And your mind might process it different than my mind might process it. Let people start thinking a little bit. Hey buddy, I love you, but we're doing a training and we're on. You want to wait till everybody on TV? All right. So if it's not necessary to say, it's necessary not to say it. Okay. You don't need to share 21 vitamins and nutrients in Spark. You don't need to share with everybody that True Breeze has been on products since 2002 right away. You don't need to share all those things, especially not in your 2-minute story, okay? This is a good one because a lot of times when you're building a business, people are going to ask you what you did, especially from that advisor standpoint, because if you're building a business, that is your first goal, is to get to advisor, okay? Casey and I saw that opportunity and we got there. We took it. And it was a stretch for us to get to advisor. It was not an easy step for us to do it. Some life circumstances just happened and we were able to figure out a way and we made it work. We made some sacrifice and we made it work. And so we got to advisor. So maybe that's part of your story. How much did you earn your first check? Our first check was $62.50 some odd cents. Our next check was $652 and some odd cents. So what was your first month earnings? How much are you currently earning per month? You know, this is part of how your story continues to grow and manifest. So you don't have to have all of those pieces right away, but you really do have to have what you saw, where you were, what you saw, what you did, where you're going. Those are 4 pieces, and everything else kind of fits into that. Just so you know, in your homework, when you get it to me, we'll look at them, and if we see some pieces, we may just touch base with you and say, hey, let's tweak that a little bit. Here, why don't we say this instead of this? We're not judging you. We're just saying, hey, we don't want you to stump your toe on something and say something that we may have said before, because that's the thing that we want to try to help eliminate obstacles for you. Things to always remember when sharing AdvoCare, and this is a big one for you guys, big one for you all. It typically takes 5 to 6 levels of conviction or units of conviction before somebody takes action. So what does that mean? That means me going and talking to Matthew at Blue Coast Burrito. If he had never heard of AdvoCare before, it's going to take me or something else at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 times before he decides to make a decision with AdvoCare, whichever way that may be. Starting on product, not starting right now, looking at it for whatever. So what's the layers? What could those layers look like? Me sharing my story. 2, Impact Magazine. 3, stories off the DVD. 4, the commercials that I say, hey, do you watch HTV or do you watch football, or the commercials? Hey, are you a college football fan? Hey, we got a bowl game. 5. And then maybe me following up is that 6th level. Or maybe, just maybe, it's one of his friends that he saw on Facebook posting something about Advocare. Maybe. All right. But let me caution you in that. Let me change from that. It's not about posting the things on Facebook. It's about following up with folks. It's about talking to folks. But other people can and will create a level of a conviction for you. It's called delayed third-party credibility. They will create that and can create that for you. But if you're not careful, you can create that for somebody else too. All right? So as you're building this business, again, we're always encouraging people to go back to where they first learned of Advocare. It's ultimately a person's decision, how they want to purchase, or who they want to purchase from. Because new guys, just want you to know, there's only one way to purchase Advocare products, and that is through an independent distributor. If you find them out there on a site somewhere, a Craigslist or a GoLSN or Amazon, that needs to be reported, because that is not legal, and it undermines the viability of this business. And our legal team is cracking down hard, very, very hard, have shut down a lot of sites because of that, because this opportunity is what it is, because we are all independent business owners and we have the opportunity to share with people. Again, we're a relationship business. So don't create that third-party credibility for somebody else. Use it. Use that to your benefit, and talk to people. Over time, this is a good one. Your belief can over-trump someone's skepticism. Your belief in where you're going and you being consistent on products, you moving in the right direction, is going to always, people are going to sit back and watch. They're going to look and they're going to see. And maybe they're like me. It took 7 months of skepticism before they said, all right, I see it. I see a little bit more. Let's give this thing a shot. So give yourself permission. It's Advocare's fun. Now, if you're starting this business, you obviously you see something with Advocare. You see the potential of what it's going to be and what it could be. And so don't get discouraged by other people. Okay? Have fun with this. Enjoy talking to people. Enjoy building relationships with people. Enjoy help people find their fit. In the meantime, you're going to benefit from that. But if you're the guy that goes out and is just trying to benefit without helping, people are going to read through that real quick. If you're just that person that's out there to make a real quick dollar, they're going to see through that. And I'll go ahead and state it now. Advocare is not a get-rich-quick program. It is not. It is a get paid very well for the concentrated work that you're willing to do. Because it is network marketing, so there's some work involved. It's minimal. It can be, it's talking to people, it's building relationships, it's helping people find their fit. But you do have to do a little bit. I mean, you can't just go out there and say, hey, I'm an Advocare distributor and plan on making, millions of dollars. Is there evidence that you can make millions of dollars? Absolutely. But we need to do it the right way. We need to work a little bit. Again, it's relationship marketing. Where else could your mom, your friends, your coworkers get vitamins? Right? They could get them anywhere. Could they get the same quality? No. Could they get the same level of help? No. Those are all the added benefit sides of things. So, but give your permission. Go out and do them the right way. Position yourself. Have you put yourself in a position to lead people? And so that means, do you have a level of influence with folks? That's who you want to talk to. Who are folks that you have influence with? Typically, it's your friends, your family, folks you do life with. That's the position that you have with folks. Eliminate the other possible variables that would keep people from saying no. Take the things out of your life that would give people reason for them to say no to Advocare. And here's one of them. Don't say that you're an Advocare distributor and you're gung-ho Advocare and walk around with a Sonic cup all day long. I don't care if you've mixed your Spark up in it. Don't give people permission to say, they're not even following. They don't even believe in that. Show belief. Show belief in what you're doing. What would I need to do? Well, we're not going to move. We're not going to move forward. Here's the one I do want to talk about. It's the 72-hour rule, and that's part of the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay. When you get a new distributor into action very quickly, you can get buy-in, and you start. They start seeing what's possible, and this is tried and true. I mean, this is it. If you can get a person a win or two really quickly, this is the retention that you'll see. If you can get somebody that gets started and sees this as a business. Now, this is not, the 72-hour rules applies to people that say, I want to build this as a business. Okay, that's the only people, not only, but that's who this applies to. If it's somebody just says, I want to start on a 24-day challenge, and this is not the case. But if somebody says, I'd like to make a little extra income, I'd like to distribute these. These are hard. If you can get them a win or two in 36 hours, there's an 85% chance that they'll stay and continue moving forward with AdvoCare in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it's they use product or that they move product into the marketplace. That is big. Where else can you start building a business, and if you help somebody get a win, sell a box of Spark, sell a canister of Spark, get someone get a 24
Get someone
challenge.
to do the challenge with
Do
you
a
in
challenge.
that first order you made to sell.
Absolutely. You've got an 85% chance of that person being with you for life. That's big. I mean, that's how you build. How does any business stay in business? By customers coming to the table, continually coming to the table. And that's what we want. I mean, as you're building a business, you want customers coming to the table. You want your people buying product. Where product goes, business flows. And so we have a consumable product that tastes good and that work, people come back for them. So 36 hours of somebody, once they tell you, I want to get this as a business, I want to start this as a business, I want to make some extra income, let's get them all in 36 hours. 72 hours, 60% stay. It's even better than a coin flip, within 3 days. So that's still good, right? And then within 4 to 5 days, 15% stay. So it's not necessarily about starting fast, but let's talk to people. Who do you know right now? Because if you've told me or your mentor or your sponsor, whatever you want to call them, your friend, that you want to build a business, you've already thought about some people. I mean, you have. You might not want to share them with anybody right now because maybe they're your chicken list folks or people you're just maybe afraid to talk to, because we all have those. I've still got a list of people in my journal, and actually I've transferred it to my phone, which I don't know why, but I transferred it to my phone, and there's a list of people that I want to talk to about AdvoCare. If you don't have a list, then you don't have anything to work from. Number one, just so you know that. But I've got people on that list that are their chicken list. Why in the world should I be scared to talk to somebody about AdvoCare? Am I afraid what they're going to think about me? Am I afraid that they're going to come up with some kind of objection that I've not already heard? We all have them. Maybe that's you. So let's get people wins very, very quickly. I wasn't able to get everywhere that I wanted to, and we're already past time. I know we got started a little bit late. Let me see if there was. So putting all this together, the why, what, who, how. This is where it comes together of putting people to work, putting your sponsor to work. This is the thing I want to kind of leave with. Putting it all together, especially new folks, even veteran folks. It's not about just what you know or how you're doing it. It's about helping people find their fit and mentoring people to success. Okay, mentor people, don't mother them. I've gotten off track a little bit, but I'm sorry about that. We want to make sure that you are successful. Okay, so put your mentor to work, because a lot of folks on this call are new. Okay, but even if you're not, even if you've been in this business a little while, put your mentor to work. Nothing would make Casey and I more happy than somebody that had seen potential. Maybe they just kind of, life happened, they put AdvoCare aside and they're ready to get started again. We want to help you do that. And so literally when they say put you to work, put them to work. Put us to work. Let us help you get those wins. Let us help you get those wins within 72 hours, okay? Within 36 hours, 72 hours. But outside of that, because I know we've got a lot of new distributors online too, this really all start. I know we all start with a $79 distributor kit, right? But really, in building a business with Advocare, you can do all of these things as a distributor. You really can. All of these things you can do, but you are not maximizing your earning potentials with Advocare until you get to that advisor level, if you see this as a business, okay? I'm not trying to oversell anything. I just know the power of Advocare. And if you want to build a business with Advocare and you're not there yet, let's get a plan to get you there as soon as possible, because that's really when you start building some huge momentum.
Hey, when you talk about, sorry to interrupt, you're wearing it, is there, since we're advisor level, do you get discounts on things like that? Or
No, there's
how does that work?
the best place to go is Advocare has approved apparel and product,
Okay.
and you can go out and get that at advocareapparel.com.
Okay.
And again, you can get t-shirts pretty cheap. And sometimes every once in a while, you'll see that some leadership will run incentives with things that have been approved by the legal department that we can give away. So you might see some of that stuff coming out in the next little bit.
Okay.
But the last thing I want to leave you with is you're on this webinar because you are wanting to build a business. You are in prime time of building an Advocare business. This time of the year is absolutely huge. People are going to tell you, I don't have the money. Oh, it's the holidays. Oh, I got to do Christmas shopping.
Okay.
Man, oh man. Do you know how we've done Christmas the last 4 years? We paid cash for it through Advocare. People have disposable income. It's about what they want to do with it. But even if not, what happens right after Christmas? New Year's resolutions. Here we come. And what does that typically revolve around?
Losing weight.
Losing weight or saving more money so that next year doesn't look like this year did. Right?
Yeah.
We've
I'm
got
so excited.
we've got solutions for those. So guys, you are in prime time. You are planting some huge seeds right now. You may be getting some no's. You may be getting a lot of right. I hope you're getting a lot of no's, to be honest with you, because that means you're talking to people. You're going to get those no's. You're going to get those not right nows, and it's going to give you opportunity to follow up, continue to build a relationship with those folks, and it's going to come the first of the year. They're going to be seeing the people that are already going, getting some good results, and they're going to say, hey, I need to try this. I need to get on board with this. Show me how I can do that. So don't discount what's going on right now. People ask us all the time, how did you guys get where you are with Advocare? And I don't say this snippy, but we got where we are because we got more no's than you have so far. We've talked to people and they've told us no. And we took that no and we said, okay, who's the next one? NO stood for next one for us. Who's the next one we can talk to? Who's the next one? No means not right now. Okay, that's cool. I'll follow back. I'll talk to you again. We're still friends. I'm not going to discount you. Not right now. Okay, next one. Next one. So as you're going through this holiday season, you're going to have ample time to see people, friends and families, where we typically start. You're going to be seeing friends around the holidays. You're going to be seeing family around the holidays. Share with them what you're doing. Don't be cheesy about it. Don't be pitchy about it. Just share with people what you're doing. Because if it comes from your heart, people see that. If it comes from a script, people really see that. Okay. So with that, I wanted to have some time to take some questions, but I ran over, and I hope that you guys are able to take a little piece out of this. We're going to be doing next month. We don't plan on having a training. We're going to be doing here locally. We're going to be doing our team Christmas breakfast, a little brunch, just kind of get together. We won't be talking Advocare probably. Just kind of come together. Let's hang out. We want to do life with you guys, and so we'll be putting that out there. But we will probably be putting out some little training things here and there. Most importantly, get to Inside Out training, Franklin, on Monday. So with that, everybody online, thank you. Sorry about the technological.
Yeah.
The delays that we had a little early on. Thank you for everybody in the room.
get your homework to me. 2 questions. So get them to us, and we can't wait to see where this holiday season is going to take you guys with AdvoCare. So thanks for joining us. See you all.